Ready as we're going.
We're recording. Let's go. Episode 18, in your face.
Let's go.
Hello, YouTube.
Well, hello.
Welcome to our intro.
Welcome to the Tar and Feather Podcast. Here are your hosts, Mustached Vet and Ganglion Cortex. I had never heard of the American Legion.
Whoopsies.
That was our dude, Dan.
But you will hear about it now.
Ah, why does he always sneak in? He always likes to make.
He did it on purpose.
Yeah.
He likes to make it all about himself.
Oh yeah, and that mustache.
Old Dan Kyle. I know the mustache and beard. He's got it all going on, and yet he's gonna do another laughy face, crying emoji on YouTube when he watches this.
He will. He's like, it was me. You know he's going to.
Welcome back to Tar and Feather Podcast. Yeah. We have our 10th Mountain Brother back for part 2. So
thank you.
So glad you come back.
We're gonna dive further into mental health, Hixson's deployments, and much, much more. And then, leadership qualities and all of that fun stuff. So stay tuned. Fast forward ahead if you ever want to try and hit up different parts of this conversation. I don't know how you're going to try and figure that out, but that's on you, the viewer, the listener. So welcome back, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me back. I was super stoked when you guys asked me for part 2. I just fell in love with it. It's great talking with you fellas. It's just so great.
I love it. I love the hype.
Oh,
leading up to the first episode, and then just afterwards, it's just a different high. It's just a different high.
Yeah. I've been thinking about it nonstop since I've been asked to come back on. So yeah,
that's awesome.
Takes
your mind off of all sorts of different stresses when you have something to look forward to.
And I was looking forward to this.
Especially after a week. Normally we do every 2 weeks. And we're like, you know what? Fine. Let's do back to back.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Double header. So anyways, let's go into how everybody's doing today. How have you been taking this heat wave that's going around?
Heat wave?
Well, it's just been hot. I can't hydrate enough.
Yeah,
sticky, hot. Yes.
That's true. It was 108 here a couple days ago, and then the dew point went to 63 degrees, and now we got our first monsoon. So, super stoked. So we are already up to 9/10 of an inch of rain today.
What?
Yeah.
Well, we are on a drought down here or over here in the Midwest. Mm-hmm. We are on a drought.
Maybe it'll float that way.
As long as it cools it off. If not, you can keep it.
We're a little droughty as well. I think it's been a week and a half, almost 2 weeks since I mowed the yard.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, mine's looking kind of scarce. It looks like it just wants to lay over and not grow anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have grass. I have rocks that I rake.
That's right. The red rock.
You learned how to do that in the Army anyway, so you should be pretty good at it, huh?
Yeah. Just moving rocks from one spot to another.
Yeah, just fluffing them up.
If you got some oil on a rock, you just flip the rock over.
Yeah.
Rinse it off.
Goodness. Hit it with some brake clean.
Absolutely. That'll take it off real quick. And dried up.
Brake clean. I didn't know when I first got to the motor pool in Fort Polk, I never knew how much dry sweep I was going to have to use.
Or how many soles in your boots you're going to have to replace from
rubbing it in.
Sweep with your foot. Yes.
You're just doing that 1950s swing dance.
Oh, that's
it. Was there even drain pans? What's going on with this?
No
I remember a lot of kitty litter too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
a lot of.
I think we all went through it.
There was no time.
like
you had to make the repair.
Like a 55-gallon drum of kitty litter.
Well, you just take a shovel and throw it on the floor.
There was big drums of it.
The best kind is the multiple cats.
Low dust
Kitty litter. It costs a little bit more, but it's better.
You always
it absorbs more.
Yeah.
For some reason, it just absorbs more because it says multiple.
Soda.
Very absorbent.
Probably. Baking soda.
It's the key.
Baking soda.
Man, that was just a mud.
Yes. Just like one.
Oh,
no. But yeah,
really good here. Yeah. Did a little road trip to New Mexico in our $600 Honda, and it did it great. So, survived.
You did your yearly
the shakedown, our load up.
Yeah, for 4th of July fireworks.
4th of July show.
He's got to cross the border, Hicks, to New Mexico to
get something a little louder.
to get the whistling bung. The whistling bungholes.
New Mexico.
What's the joke?
Oh, yeah.
Whistling bungholes. The hurricanes. The
whip-de-doos or whatever he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And whoop-de-don'ts.
Yeah. Just make sure you don't light the whoopsie-don'ts.
No, in Arizona, you can only buy snakes and sparklers.
Don't light them.
Those are fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Those are fun to watch.
I always get these little tanks that you can light on fire, and I line them up, and I get real close so it looks like they're huge with my phone, and I just pow, 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 pow. And then I put AC/DC in the background.
I think they also have chickens, too.
I like the AC/DC.
Chickens?
Yeah.
Chickens? Who's got chickens?
They'll lay fireballs.
No.
Chickens.
That's a firework?
I think so.
It's a chicken and it just lays fire.
Same thing,
Interesting.
Yeah.
I gotta look that up. I gotta see that.
I gotta look for that.
I definitely
can you get that at the grocery store?
Maybe yours, not mine.
Ooh, maybe mine. Yeah, I know Redner's and Giant. They sell fireworks. That's normally where I get those cool tanks.
Yeah.
They come in like packages of 12, I think.
You could put them in like a sand pit and have them compete against each other.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I can put them in a different part of the house every year. I'm like, 4th of July, mother truckers.
Yeah. Playing the platoon soundtrack.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I can dig it.
Oh, yeah. I always dig it. I always love freedom season.
Freedom season, yeah.
It's the best.
Summer of freedom.
Summer of freedom.
Yeah.
Every year.
White boy summer. Yeah. All right.
That's what we're having right now.
Yes. And we're having fun. All right. Our first hot button topic. We skimmed over this the last episode. We talked about seeking professional help. Hixson, what do you practice on a daily basis that keeps you level-headed and keeps those triggers from triggering you?
The first thing goes from what my family, friends, and who I talk to, every 3 to 6 months has told me. So that's always in my mind when an occurrence happens, a red flag hits, and then the next thing you know is going to be whatever. I try to revert back to those conversations that I've had before. Now, sometimes you can't do it. I definitely try to take a breather and walk off and come back to it. Does it work every time? No. Is there yelling in anger sometimes when it's most unsusceptible? You don't realize it's coming. How about that? Then it's kind of it just comes off as what it is. But no, I try to think about those things. And I always got to think that the medication is working and doing what it's supposed to, and you got to have a positive outlook on that. So you got to think everything's working in your favor to try to minimize those outbursts.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of goes with your diet and everything. Once you get into that regiment, you need to
preparation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, it's trial and error.
I would say for me, it's basically the same thing, and having a plan before it happens, right? So like recognizing that you do have control over this. Sooner as it happens each time, and it's just a process that you got to work through, and it's just you just have to just kind of, like you're saying, just build up a plan, remember what you've talked through, and just kind of work through it backwards.
Yeah, because you don't know when a trigger is going to be pulled. So it's just once it happens, and then you mindfully recognize it. The time you start to fix yourself from that point is key, and then you just keep working on, getting better. And it's a day-to-day process, or situation process, I should say.
Yeah, I feel like it comes in waves.
It does.
For me.
It doesn't happen all the time. But when it does, it does.
When I get a little bit complacent. And just like the old saying is, complacency kills.
Yeah.
And so just getting a little lackadaisical, like Corey's saying, was preparing. Once you stop preparing and you just start going through the motions, and then that's when something just throws you right off.
Yeah.
You don't realize that you're on a wobbly bridge, and that you got to pay attention to, have 3 points of contact going all the way across, and you take your hands off, and all of a sudden somebody jumps on your bridge.
You're exactly right.
It's going to knock you right off.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So, you stay ready. You ain't got to get ready. But like you said, complacency it sets in when you least expect it, because now you're on a normal plane. Nothing's been happening. You ain't experiencing anything. Everything's going good. And then that part of your brain thinking about it every day, all the time, kind of pauses. It takes a step back. And then when it does happen, then it's twice as bad, pretty much.
Right. Yeah. Once you're already frustrated and you're in that moment, and then something else, it just ends up snowballing all at once. And then it makes whether or not you're on job site and you're around your coworkers, or you're around the customer, or you're at home with your family, and you blow up in front of them, then that affects your job. It affects the outlook, the way people perceive you too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's big. That's big, because then everybody's like, all right, I need to walk on eggshells around this guy. And I don't want people to ever do that with me. My wife.
I've had someone say that, and I was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been told it before. So I've dealt with it. It's not a good feeling to know that you put people in that type of mindful situation when you're around.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Making other people anxious. I'm fine with being a little anxious. I don't want to put that on somebody else. So
I almost feel comfortable taking that on, Like,
yeah, exactly.
I'd rather have that than you.
Yeah.
And then they were thinking it's the opposite, and now it's like this like inverted situation where it's like, oh, I was just here to help. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of times too, people think that you think that other people perceive you worse than they actually do.
Well, you're always going to beat yourself up and perceive yourself worse than what actually people look at you. It's just because that's just how our brain works.
Right. So we give other people grace, but we don't really give ourselves grace.
No.
And that's where I think it comes into play for me, is once I start giving myself grace, and that I'm not always going to be perfect doing something, or in a certain situation, it might be the first time fixing something, right? Doing the water pump on my Dodge. It was the first time I've ever done a water pump on the Dodge. And so I needed a bunch of things that I didn't think I was going to need, because the water pump's right there, but it's hard to get to. It was hard to get to one of the bolts. So I was just getting frustrated that, oh man, I got to do more prep work than I thought. And then as opposed to just taking a step back, I did later on. I did like an hour later, but I also yelled at my truck and yelled at myself for an hour in my head.
The same amount of time.
What are you doing, you idiot?
Yeah.
But once that self-talk creeps in, and once that starts going, it's hard to turn it back.
That's the same as taking a breather, walking it off.
Yeah.
Right.
Walking it
off. Taking that moment and just asking, like, all right, I've spent, and that's actually my boss told me a while back. If you're at a job and you're looking at it and you're doing your diag, it's been more than 15 minutes and you like have no idea what's going on with this thing, just call someone. Because you're not going to figure it out in the next 30, right? Like, you have no direction. So,
and that's the thing. Once you know where to once you know where to start, normally
then
that's
you're
where
golden
it goes
again.
into.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And sometimes it's just like taking a step back and going, okay, it's cranking, but it's not like an engine. It's cranking, but it's not firing. All right, so it's not a battery issue. We can go to fuel. We can go look at fuel and spark real quick. All right, it doesn't have spark plugs. It's a diesel. All right, I'm going to fuel.
And so you're talking, you have your troubling your flow chart, right? And so we need flow charts for our daily lives.
Yep.
And that helps out.
Oh, that's great.
Streamline.
That's a good way of thinking about it.
Because you're going to have these scenarios that you're going to be dealing with, and you can kind of deal with this in the same light. Yeah.
Well, I guess our flow chart would be our family, friends.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Reach out to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this working? No. All right. Call your dad.
Oh yeah, or you get away from it. Yeah, stuff like that.
Right.
Or sometimes I'll text Corey throughout the day, be like, "Hey man, what do you got going on today?" And I'll just take my mind completely off the job for about 5 minutes, and then come back to it.
Yeah. That's sometimes that's all you need.
Sometimes that helps. Sometimes
that's right.
Helps.
Yeah. Or
that
you get
5 minute breather, and it will prevent you from doing some cascading event that is just emotionally driven, right? It's not real.
Right.
So,
yeah,
everyone would want you to take that 5 minutes versus doing something, irrational.
Yeah, and it's
perfect.
It's essentially make believe, because you're just creating this perfect situation in your head, and you're not living up to it.
It's like all the worst things have lined up to Goliath now. Yeah.
And then it just keeps going. And you're like, oh, the wrench slipped out of my hand now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What am I doing?
Yeah.
Wake up.
Get
it together.
What else is going to happen today?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
It's just the way things go, and sometimes you just you think of it as
it is a learned trait, like Scott said. It is definitely a thing you have to work on, just like exercise and to also share, right? It's something we can all share with each other,
right?
To try and catch it earlier and earlier, and then you can really have peace, not make some random mistake where you say the wrong word at the right time,
Yeah.
It's not, and like it actually describes what you have are upset about, but it's just the wrong word, right? We want to avoid that.
You're right.
Yeah. We're not all going to be perfect.
Well, because I had said this was a terrible idea when it was just like, it wasn't like it's that bad, It was just like the wrong word that came out at the time. And so.
Which made it feel to them bigger than what it was worse.
Right. So the next step now is to understand or recognize it and be able to come back sooner and be like, hey, this is what I was really talking about. Like this is like my line of thinking, and this is where I was coming from. Versus, just like
you were trying to explain yourself.
Yeah.
You were trying to explain yourself. Yeah.
Well, yeah, come back and be like, well, that's not the word I actually wanted. It was just what came out. Right.
Wow, that happens to me every day. I'm terrible with giving people directions. If somebody has to try and find a tool on my work truck, I can't tell you where it is, but I can walk around to my truck and grab it right away. I know exactly where it's at. I just can't explain to you exactly where it's at, what tool it's under, because it's probably buried under something.
There you go.
Well, so that's the professional thing, Scott. When I worked at Robinson's May, they said never point somewhere. You're gonna take them and show them. So it's concierge service.
This way,
it's valet. I gotta get off. I gotta get off the top of this generator, get down the ladder, and be like, "Hey, that's where it's at." Actually, all right. Now I have my tool. So I actually didn't need you.
Yeah.
All right, back up the ladder.
Do you ask for their ID?
Make them sign for it.
Yeah.
A roster sheet on. You open up the door to your service truck, and you got a roster sheet
of everybody and what they've taken.
You're John Hancock right here.
Yeah. Sign it out.
Time in and time out.
That's right.
And what you took. It's like when we were doing. So we were talking about my '84 GMC that threw a rod.
Right.
When I joined the Army, right? When I first got to Fort Polk. Well, Corey was down there and he helped me get it out. Or no, I didn't even think we got it out. But we were at the tool crib, the civilian motor pool to rent a bay and all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And then so we were renting all sorts of tools out. And we didn't realize you couldn't leave the truck in there overnight.
Oh, yeah.
And we were like 1 hour away from closing, and we didn't even have the engine out yet.
It's all ripped apart, but not out.
It was all ripped apart, but not out. And so I had to get a tow truck to take it to a shop.
It was like some big hassle. Like they didn't even want it like pushed out and pushed back in the next day or something.
Yeah.
Oh, they wanted it gone.
Yeah, I guess.
Get it off the.
That was such an ordeal.
Yeah. That wasn't.
I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, just getting through the day. Sometimes it seems like it's difficult. I know I experience brain fog. So if I eat and if I drink enough water, sometimes I can get around that. And I've been trying to take some supplements to try and counteract the brain fog. But do you guys experience any of that to where you kind of just feel like you're confused and that kind of sparks some emotions?
Well, I take medication so I stay focused. If you know what I'm talking about, because I'm all over the place. I'm trying to think of 2 or 3 things at one time while trying to do it.
Right.
Write down a different task or tell somebody something, or trying to figure something on the computer at work, and then thinking about 2 or 3 other things, and I'll get confused and forget, and it's just like your mind goes blank. But taking the medicine that I take, it does keep me focused on one task until it's complete. So that's a good thing.
Very good.
Yeah, that's good. I'm just worried about taking pills. I'm fine with supplements, stuff that's natural, but I just haven't. I'm afraid that
I need to utilize.
If I take something, it's gonna take my personality away. You know what I mean? That's what I'm always afraid of.
Yeah, I get it.
So I'm always like,
I've been there. Well, but the whole thing with taking these, SSIRs and these whatever other meds, mental health meds, people call them crazy pills, whatever. Is you got to keep trying something for so long, and then it doesn't work, and then you get put back on something new, and then you got to do the same time, and then it's like, okay, it's doing a little bit. Okay, well, on this second med, and let's try this. But I'm at a regimen now that I've been on pretty steady for 2 or 3 years, that I haven't had any dose changes or raising it or lowering it. So I feel they're working. But who wants to be on meds for the rest of their life? I don't.
Right.
But at the moment, it's working.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like I take a cocktail of supplements every day. So I got like 12 pills that I take a day.
That's what it's all about, is having that process and, having a plan for the future. Right?
Yeah.
Preparing yourself, taking those meds for in the morning or at night whenever you take them. I mean, I'm sure you're taking them once a day. So that day, that time in the morning or that time of day, you're then preparing yourself for the rest of the day.
Yeah. Well, some are minor 2 and 3 times a day. So,
okay.
But I try to take them at the same time every day.
Scott, you did say, or ask about whether or not like hydration and food levels. I notice it because I have like a pretty regular schedule. And so, if I don't eat at a certain time towards the end of the day, I can become a little more short-tempered. So it's something that is controllable, right? Knowing that's coming up, or like if I do come home and I'm like kind of just short-tempered for no reason, it's like, all right, I need to take 5 minutes and have a snack.
Yeah, that's normally a time that I'm probably the worst, is as soon as I get home. Like, I'm happy-go-lucky when I get home, but if I've got to do something like yard work or
I've also noticed you're like trying to come right down, right? Because you're already like high strung, you're like in full work mode, and then it's like you have to like just automatically go to this other level, which is home, and it's a lot, a different tempo. And so it's trying to bridge that gap of like transitioning from work mode to, being in the house. And it is tough. I totally get it. I feel that coming home.
I do too.
Yeah, you're still ready for the day, right?
Right. Yeah, I get here. Julia's still working and taking care of the baby, so she's in work mode and in baby mode, and I can't be the one adding on top of it.
You're right.
You're like, oh my gosh, where are my flip flops? I can't find my flip flops to walk around the house in. My sliders. Where is this? I can't do that. I got to be able to.
I'm glad you recognize that.
You got to be.
Right.
That's the first step.
You just have to go find them.
And again, it's preparation. It's putting your sliders in the same spot.
You're right.
That is almost all of it. Having a plan.
Almost all of it. It's almost all of it.
I like it.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll change into my uniform upstairs. Sometimes I'll pull my uniform out of the dryer and put it on. And so then my flip-flops, my sliders are by the dryer or they're upstairs.
You're solving critical things here, Scott. That's my problem too. Yeah. Where are they? Why would I leave them out here? Why would I leave one here and one over there?
Exactly.
Who had them on?
I never leave them in this room. Yeah. Why are they in here?
Yeah. Who was wearing them?
Why is it in the guest bedroom? Oh, yeah. I changed in the guest bedroom because I didn't want to turn the light in the bedroom. I didn't want to turn the hallway light on. So I went to the guest bedroom to change. And so that's why they're all there. Oh, okay. Now I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a whole thing.
I think.
Why?
It's a common theme of the working man.
They're just slides. They're just slides that I like to wear around the house.
Hey,
I feel comfortable.
Got to be comfortable in your kingdom. It's all right.
Yes.
But that's part of your routine. So when it's not there, or you don't remember, why, where? It's just how we are.
It's that meme of Elmo with fire behind him going, ah.
Yeah, that's what first comes to mind.
That's what first comes to mind every time. I'm like, chaos. It's like, what does my world come to?
That is true. And it's always someone was in here. Someone was in here and did something.
Yep.
Even though there's like no possible way.
Like I would never do that. I would never lose that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Why would I put my hat in some other spot of the house? Why would I do anything really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Where's this? Where's that? Julia, I know you moved it. And then she didn't. I moved it.
It's what always comes out to be the conclusion. Yeah.
Collusion. Yeah.
It's mine. I did it.
I'm like, oh, you cleaned up around here. And now I don't know where my stuff is. Oh, it's in the correct spot. That's crazy. Yeah. Wild times. Wild times.
My stuff just gets piled. My stuff just gets piled.
Yeah.
I have that tendency.
Right. All right. So let's transition out of that. And Hixson.
Yep.
Which deployment do you think that you were either, well, which deployment did you connect with the guys the most? First, second, third, fourth, or fifth?
It would have to be, 15 months is a lot. So
right.
Compared to a 12-month deployment or whatever, but there was different personalities in the second deployment to Iraq than the personalities that I was with, OB, Casey, Kyle, Corey, all those guys. So they were a lot younger than the guys that I deployed with to Iraq. I was the young guy. So I'd say they're all different, and you connect to all those guys in different ways and on different levels.
Absolutely. Interesting.
So
I know some of the guys that went to Afghanistan after we went to Iraq, they kind of had they almost had like I guess connecting with the guys, it wasn't, you connect with the guys that you go with almost regardless, right? But yet the deployment was different and not as, lack of a better word, fun. There weren't as many great memories. There wasn't as much to laugh about, stuff like that. I felt like our deployment, there was a lot of bad stuff that happened, a lot of really shitty stuff that happened, but there was a lot of also laughter, jokes being thrown around.
Well,
a lot of characters. So
you almost have to have that to try to get your mind off things like that, to get you through some situations. I'd rather laugh than cry.
Yeah. Yeah, crying's no fun. No. Crying's no fun. So the second deployment was with all of the guys that we know.
Yes.
So you guys went to Afghanistan together with 2nd ACR?
No, we went with 10th Mountain, 4th Brigade.
Oh, that's right. So it was 2nd ACR before switched over, right? But you guys went to Afghanistan as 10th Mountain.
As 10th Mountain.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which was,
I thought it was, I got
10th Mountain stood up around 2005, correct? Around that time?
Yes. Yep. And at the end of 2005 is when I went to Afghanistan.
Right.
With those guys. But it was just fun. It was laughing. It was jokes. It was just altogether fun. Even though it was a shitty situation, but it was fun to hang out with the guys down at the motor pool that you work with. And, you play cards after you get off work, in the tents. But no, it was just fun, a lot of laughter. So it was a plus. But
nice.
Was a plus.
Well, that's how I felt like with Iraq. It's like with all those guys, those same guys that you went to Afghanistan with, went to Iraq with us, because they were all young bucks with you, and they still had to. They were still there with their first duty station for Polk, so they had to go again. And yet our deployment was 14 total months. I think it was like almost exactly 14, almost 15 months. And so, we all got real close. And obviously that's why we're doing that retreat. There's 11 of us going. And so I feel like that's a pretty big,
that's a pretty big reunion.
Yes.
That's almost maintenance's, squad.
Yep.
It's,
it's almost two squads.
Yeah. So that's
2 squads. It's half the motor pool.
Pretty much.
Half the maintenance side. Yeah, half the maintenance side.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, normally when we have reunions, there's about 5 or 6 of us. I think last time I went to Ohio, met you for the first time, and we were down there. There's 5 of us, and then for my wedding, there was 5 or 6, and then I think 5 of us. And I'm trying to think if there was. And then with Dan, we went for Dan's wedding. It was me, OB, and Dan, so 3 of us. So yeah, this will be the biggest group since we all got out. Since we all saw each other, really.
Yeah. Definitely for me.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen. It's huge for our mental state too. I mean, we're all brothers.
Oh yeah, we need that because only we and who's been there together can really talk about that situation and like its full glory. I guess the full glory, whether it's good or bad. Right. Only those guys can really talk about it. I mean, you can talk about it with your wife and family about it, and they'll,
listen.
They'll be empathetic and they listen.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic because that's what you got until you get around a bunch of your Army buddies like we're going to get to. But yeah,
but we're going to get to say, hey, remember when you did this really dumb thing?
Yeah. And then there'll be a lot of laughter, a lot of fun. So yeah. You're exactly right.
Kyle, why'd you run around with your shirt off so much? You should have put a shirt on.
Yeah.
Kyle, where are your nipples at right now?
Just because Dan wanted to. Waiting to see everybody's reaction.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So funny. I can't wait. It's going to be a blast.
No, it's going to be good.
Be a lot of fun. So I should be getting there on that Friday. I'm going to try and leave Thursday night, get there that Friday morning, and then either take a quick cat nap or pull an all dayer and then probably go to sleep earlier that night. But I'll try not to. Gotta stay awake.
Oh, we'll take care of you. Don't worry.
I'm confiscating Sharpies, all the Sharpies.
I was just about to say I'm bringing Sharpies.
Man. I'm confiscating all of them. I'm gonna have a roster.
A Sharpie roster.
As soon as you come in, like empty your pockets.
I'm gonna need your driver's license and passport, please.
You can have it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next question. Which deployment do you felt like you were the best leader?
I'd say Iraq.
And what I guess the other deployments would have given you that capability to be a leader, but yes. Yeah. Okay. So Iraq.
I'd say Iraq because our squad leader was ETS, and so he flew back. So I was the next highest enlisted, but I was just an E4, and there was a total of 5 or 6 of us. I can't remember.
And what year was that?
That was 2003.
2003. Okay.
Yeah. So
that was before the Afghanistan trip with the boys.
Yeah. So I got promoted to corporal, hard stripes.
Nice.
And I was the squad leader. And then for the last, I think it was 9 or 10 months, I was squad leader over them. And I learned a lot. And I had outstanding leadership that groomed me. But, that was probably the best one. The rest of them, I was there. I could answer questions. I brought everybody there, took everybody home. But I just started not wanting to be in the Army anymore. I guess that kind of played a toll in it, and of course mental health stuff. So I was good when it was good, but when it was bad, it was way bad.
Well, yeah, they talk about combat fatigue.
Yeah.
whether it's shell shock or PTSD. But combat fatigue is a thing. Your adrenaline is through the roof for months on end, right? You don't know when things are going to happen. The bottom's going to fall out eventually, right?
Yep.
So when is it going to happen?
And
again, it's all in preparation to try and set you up for those situations.
For success,
But in war, you can't really do that.
No.
Kind of flying by the seat of your pants.
You just smile and nod your head some days.
Yeah, it is what it is. Sometimes you just gotta go with the flow.
Unfortunately.
As scary as it is.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Yes, 100%. What else we got? Trying to think of Corey, you got any questions? I'm gonna try and prepare. Trying to think of something else.
I don't have a question, but it is all making sense now, as of why so many people talked about Hixson for so long, because he was, such an effective leader. And that,
right.
I'm so proud and blessed to be able to sit here and listen. And it, like you said, it has changed my outlook this last week, and it's just I've really thought a lot. It's great.
Oh, as long as
I feel empowered.
Yeah, as long as one person gets something out of it, puts it in their toolbox, takes it and changes it, then that's what it's well worth.
Hands it to somebody else.
Hands it down to the next guy.
Yeah.
Right.
This was my trusty.
And so a lot of them really did when we were deployed, when we were in Iraq and stuff. They really did. A lot of the younger guys who weren't technically leaders were kind of leaders for some of us. And so,
even the guys that were stop loss, right? They still they had that level of I should be out, but I have to get the job done because there's guys that depend on me and that need to learn from me. So the Kyles, the Maynards, the Schertzers, the Richies,
Richie,
right. OB, of course.
But
I mean, OB wasn't stop loss, but they gave a shit for the people that they're around, and I think that kind of you put that out too. You put that energy out, and that helps further them along, and then it helped with us. It just like everything else, it snowballed. It's just a butterfly effect.
There's a cascading event for sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
you're the Mount Vesuvius.
Yeah. What would Hixson do?
What would Hixson do?
I try to pay it forward.
Tenfold.
And it's like self.
You're a big guy, so you do more.
Yeah. Tenfold.
Yeah. Tenfold. Big guy. Big guy. Sasquatch. Big Daddy Fat Sack. Yeah. Let's see. What else could we talk about? So how did you? Well, this is one question. It's a little nuanced. It's a little weird. So you came into the Army as a 63 whiskey.
Yes.
And so you went to basic training at Fort Jackson, and then you did your AIT at Edgewood. We were at Aberdeen Proving Ground for ours, but we were 63 Bravos. So you came in as a 63 whiskey and then transitioned to 63 Bravo. So what was that like? Did your job change at all, or
no?
Same shit.
It changed when I was at Fort Polk.
Yeah.
So I had already been through school, had already been to Germany, Kosovo, and I was still working as a whiskey, doing third shop. And I was doing all that in Iraq. But in 2004, I got promoted October 1st to sergeant, 2004.
Okay.
Then it changed. Everybody changed to a 91 Bravo. So whether you knew the 20 level maintenance or not, you were going to do it. You were starting to do it.
Right.
So it wasn't, hey, you go train and do this, or you go train and do that. It was, now we have to start doing everything in one shop instead of sending it to another shop or to the other bays.
So when I signed up, I wanted to be a 63 whiskey. That's what I thought I was signing up for until I got to basic. Of course, my recruiter lied to me, and I was a 63 Bravo. Who would have thought that dude would have lied to me? Who would have thought? He also said I was going to get promoted to E3 as soon as I got to my duty station. He lied to me there too.
Gotcha.
So anyways, so I thought I was going to be a 63 whiskey. I was like, oh, heavy, what was it? Heavy equipment?
It was, I don't know if I got it wrote down or not. Probably doesn't say. Oh, it was an all-wheel vehicle repair.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I thought it was heavy equipment. Because I was like, oh, the Connex movers, all of that, the loaders and stuff like that. That's what I thought it was. Maybe my memory isn't serving me that well over the years, but I thought that's what it was.
I just signed up to be a mechanic.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey, you want to jump out of airplanes? And I said, no.
Well, I remember trying to talk
are you
Corey
sure?
into that. And
then, then Scott asked again.
I was like, hey, you want to sign up for airborne?
Yeah, 3 weeks of running nonstop? No.
Yeah, neither of us wanted to keep running. And we're like, my feet hurt.
Had enough running at that
point. like Forrest Gump, you're like, I think I'm just going to go home.
I'm just going to go to my duty station now.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt. I was like, I was tired of being in school and in lockdown and being like, you get these special passes. Like, I didn't want that anymore. I just wanted to be on my own.
Yeah.
Right.
Doing my own thing.
I didn't want to run. I couldn't do it.
No.
Enough running.
No. That is, I think that's one thing that we all should do go skydiving.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we should.
All right.
Do they do any skydiving in Kentucky?
I think you can do it anywhere.
No.
Right?
I hope not.
You don't want to go skydiving?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
All right.
No. I'll stand down there and watch. I'll hold the camera.
I don't really want to, but I guess I would if it was so.
I want to see Kyle jump out of an airplane.
That would be a sight.
With his upright bass.
That would be a sight.
His cello.
His upright cello.
Jumping out with his cello. Boom! I don't know, whatever cello makes.
A little deeper, I think.
Yeah. Boom.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, we need to do something extreme. Maybe some whitewater rafting.
I'll do that. I would do that.
Whitewater rafting.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's any whitewater rafting down there.
So now you're event planning. I like it.
I'm trying to. I might float the idea to OB. See what he says. See what we got going on for the whole weekend. Maybe a Saturday or Sunday we do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That'd be
pretty cool. I'll wear the GoPro.
Yeah. We got to get a drone too, like someone said.
That would be cool. Yeah, we need to get a drone. We need to get a GoPro.
Yeah.
I'll bring my.
Dan's got his camera, so he'll have to
bring my trail cam too, and I'll just set it up, and we can just watch people walking in front of the trail cam.
Yeah. Like, what were you doing?
What were you doing at 4:30?
I was just lumbering around.
I was looking at the stars, Alice.
Bathroom's that way.
There's a bathroom?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that bush looks good.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. So do you have any for Hixson, do you have a favorite recovery mission? So since you're Hotel 8, you worked on the you worked on the wrecker, picking up vehicles.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to know, pretty much a tow truck, very intense tow truck operator. What was your either most difficult job or most fond job? The job that you're proud of yourself for?
I guess I'd say in Iraq, we had to go get a HEMTT fueler that was full of fuel that was broke down outside of Baghdad. And I'd say that was the most fun, but kind of like the most stressful at the same time. So every alert, every laugh, every going and hooking and coming back, I'd say that had everything wrapped up into one, all feelings. So everything was a success. So we were able to get it, come back, and it was all wrapped up in one. No issues, which never happens.
Usually they don't.
Right.
Usually
and
don't.
You have the added suspense of all that fuel.
Oh,
time.
100%.
Yeah.
Thousands of gallons, right? 2,500 or something.
I think it was. I don't know if they only hold 1,500 or. It was an old H. It was an A2 fueler, plus the A2, A2 wrecker as well. So I don't know how many gallons it held. I can't remember all that.
I can't remember either. And I drove it and I had to do refuel on it. Everyone would laugh at me too in pre-briefing for the missions. Spofford's driving the fueler. Ha 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 ha. And I turned and I said, well, you can be close enough when it blows up, so don't laugh too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, stay away from those RPGs.
Hey, I don't know. I figured someone had to move it.
Right.
Let's go do it.
Yeah, right. Somebody had to be in there.
I can't say no. I don't know. I don't know. I'm staying here.
No.
Yeah. That's not an option.
So, just take control, have a good time. I was like, I'm driving this big ass thing with all this power. I'm going to run over anything that drives in front of me. I don't know.
Yeah, pretend that you're invincible.
Yeah, but in a record, and then you're all the way at the end. You're like, wow, I have a one gun truck behind me.
Yep.
And your truck probably goes maybe the slowest.
It takes a while to move to 40 miles per hour.
Yeah. And then it just you're like this.
You're like, damn, I'm still only going 20.
Yeah. And it's just beating the brakes off of you. It's just awful.
Yeah, no matter how smooth the road is, it's doing that thing.
Yeah.
It's all that mass in those tires, like pulling you forward or something.
Yeah. Never failed.
Oh man, too funny.
It sounded like it wanted to blow up, and you weren't even going fast. It's just loud for no reason.
Yeah, you're just hearing the turbo behind you.
Yeah.
Squealing. I need more air. Not getting enough air in here.
Air filter.
Here's some cork paint that they sprayed in it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The overspray is blocking half of it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Added rust prevention.
Yeah. So, what in the Army has prepared you for life? Well, now being a team lead, what has prepared you to be a team lead now?
Well, being a squad leader for one,
Right.
because that's usually, well, in the civilian sector, a foreman or a superintendent or a lead, that's about the same as a squad leader. I mean, give or take responsibilities, but that did. But I'd also say my family as well, pushing me. You need to do this. You got to do this. Being there the 100% step of the way, knowing where if I went away, she was still going to be there type stuff. So I would family and just actually doing the job. That's just
being
what's
accountable.
made me. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Being kind of willing to step up,
showing up,
fill that role.
Yeah,
but
showing up.
I feel like as a squad leader, as E5, E6, so sergeant, staff sergeant, that kind of you're taking care of other people on a different level than just being like a supervisor for a regular company.
Right.
You're maintaining their health and welfare too. So now that you're out of the Army, you're still kind of in that mode a little bit, like, hey, how's family life? I know that it looks like you're struggling to focus a little bit today. So how's everything going? So you kind of notice those things more than other people would.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, I need to address this.
You pay attention to detail a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey man, if you feel comfortable, you can talk to me about it. Or if you need 5 minutes to talk to your wife on the phone or whatever, talk to kids or whatever, go for it. And then come back with fresh mind. Right?
I do it. I let them know.
So I feel like it kind of prepares you in a different way than the civilian world would. So
yeah,
and also say so. Being able to do all the paperwork, counselings, and all that stuff, it rolls over. Being able to do the paperwork side of things too.
It's putting more than, you got double and triple task. So that if you're good at that stuff, you would probably benefit from, from the Army to the civilian. That'd be something different because, you could do this and that and it not bother you. So I guess it's got to depend on everything. The military's can get you prepared for anything without you even knowing it.
Right.
If you weren't a mechanic, you know what I mean? And then you get out, certain things about the trucks and that, and then you learn it. Then you get out. There's just plethora of knowledge that's passed down that benefits you, not knowing that it's going to benefit you later on down the road in the civilian world. So,
right.
Utilize
There's one more thing I was going to say, and I lost it. I'm terrible at that. So, was there anything else that you wanted to say, Corey?
Just that you're right. You never know where that knowledge is going to rear its head.
No.
It's just I don't know. It's a great thing.
There's another thing I was going to bring up. It was so health and welfare, counselings. There's another aspect of being a squad leader, being a team leader that kind of helps with in the civilian, that you wouldn't necessarily have in the civilian field. I'm trying to think.
I don't want to implant anything, but I would say more of a mentorship. I don't know. So someone,
So when you're doing your counselings, right, and you want to, your guys are doing really well. So merit-based awards, that's huge in the Army. Making sure that your guys get that
recognized.
Your guys are recognized, acknowledged for the cool things that they're doing. They're going above and beyond their jobs, and I feel like that's kind of sometimes lost in the civilian world because we don't get ribbons, we don't get
emphasis
these
is more
awards.
on
individual awards or
yeah.
I mean, you don't get that.
That can boost morale more than anything. Be like, hey, I got this.
Yeah,
this is what I got. We're talking about
I would say, recognizing those individual achievements and really highlighting them, and saying you appreciate, this thing, and it's specific to something that person did, not like, oh, you did 10 hours on this thing or something. I don't know. You're right.
I was gonna show the picture of your uniform.
It's not loaded up yet?
I didn't load that one up. Here, I'll. It's in our text messages.
Screen share.
It's on my phone. I'll email it to.
All right. You email it, and I will see it.
I'll try and find it. Hold on. Okay. Email. All right. Sent. So give it some time. We'll pull up your awards. I sent the unit citations and all your ribbons.
Okay.
All your personal ribbons. So we sent that to the inbox. So we'll get those loaded up real fast. But while we're doing that, we'll share we will share some pictures of Hixson. Why not?
Oh.
Look at this cheese. Look at that cheese ball.
I think I was eating ice cream there. I'm not sure. No, those are grapes. Yep.
Yeah.
Loved it.
So this one, all right.
Oh yeah, tell us about that.
You got your kid.
That was we lived on Fort Campbell right inside Gate 7. And I just got back from Afghanistan, and we only had one son, and that was my oldest, Kyan. And he saw me at the door, dressed up like Spider-Man.
Nice.
That's the Spider-Man Halloween costume he's wearing. But yeah, he just jumped up my arms, and that was the first deployment that my very first child,
Yeah, what a feeling. You
had to deal with that. Yeah, it was good.
That's crazy. That's something that we didn't have to. That we didn't go through.
Yeah,
we didn't have a wife
it was
back
different,
home
right?
or any kids.
We were just single young kids with some parents at home.
Felt like we were there.
Like we were just there. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. We were just there.
Yeah.
Because they did ask. Yeah. They asked like, "Oh, does anyone want to stay longer?" And I really thought, like, okay, another 15 months, might as well. So they almost got.
Yeah, I'll add some money to that.
Right.
And you and your wife?
Yeah. That was before we had children, but that was down at Fort Polk. I hadn't deployed yet. And we was going to a regimental ball.
Nice. Looking sharp.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. I always thought it was weird for the balls with having the ties, the bow ties instead of the regular issued ties.
I forgot.
The regular uniform.
Yeah, I forget. Why? Dress masks or something like that's what they call it. Dress masks.
So I always thought it was weird that it was different. I never went to one of those. And then we got, let's see what we got here. Spurs.
Yep. The ones on, if you're, the gold ones are from Iraq. And then of course, the silver ones are from back at Garrison.
Okay. So you deploy with different ones?
I like that.
Yeah.
You get some special ones.
I guess they gave them. I don't know if they've done it in previous deployments for them, or somebody just had metal mounted down just to give to us all over there. I don't know if they give it to you for going on deployment. I'm not sure about that, but the silver ones were back, and it was the there's a name for it. Anyway, you get a certificate, you get your spurs, then you're allowed to wear your Stetson, on formal events. So
do you still have the Stetson?
No.
You gotta give that back?
No. I mean, you buy your own, but no, I don't have it.
Oh, bummer. I want Stetson.
He was hoping to live
I like cowboy hats. What can I say?
Yeah.
I don't have a Stetson. Alrighty. And then how about this one?
Oh, we were just.
So which deployment was that?
That was 2000, and that's Afghanistan, but it was 2008 or 9 or 10, something like that.
Yeah. Do we know any of these guys?
No. That was I think that's Kandahar.
Okay.
I don't know if Corey, them guys are with us or not. Oh man, they all run together.
All right.
Well, seeing that, you're sitting on around picnic tables and you see it without
picnic tables and just makeshift canopies.
Yeah, everything.
With T-walls and then nothing.
Yeah,
you can't. There's nothing behind it. You can't see anything behind it, so you don't know if there's mountains or if it's just another T-wall.
Yeah. So they just all look the same. I thought it was that when I was with 101st, but then I realized it was with 10th Mountain. Yeah.
All right. The moment we've been waiting for. Your rack.
The stack.
Look at that. That is nasty. That is
heavy.
Clean, dude.
Yes. I wrote some stuff down because I went back and looked at that after we had mentioned we got to get stuff updated on it. Right. But my NCOS needs a number 2 on it. Combat stripes should be 7 and not 5, and then 5 good conduct service stripes, and that was all I need to update.
Oh
yeah, big updates.
Yeah, that's big updates. Though. That's a lot of stripes. 7 stripes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For combat. Was it for every 6 months deployed?
And doesn't have to be consecutive.
Yep. Every 6 months.
Yep.
And then how many is it for the service? Is it every 3?
Every 3.
Yeah, every 3 years. So I know I've got the 1 stripe, and then I should have 2 on my sleeves right now for deploying.
Yeah.
For combat. And I'm missing those. That's what I'm missing on my Class A's. So I didn't get any of that updated before I got out. So
I didn't either.
Update that, and then mine would be good. I don't even know if I fit mine anymore because
no.
My Class A's used to be Nelson's.
That's what you'd said in the text.
Yeah, they used to be Nelson's Class A's. And so I haven't put on the jacket in forever. And I definitely haven't worn the pants. I don't even know if
Scott was a string bean when he joined.
Yeah, I was 100.
Pants were awful.
So I was 155 pounds when I joined. In basic training, I was 6'1", 155 pounds. I was nothing. I was athletic, but I was functional. I was very functional.
Very
Put it at that.
functional.
Very functional,
Mobile.
but I had
Functional mobility.
I could do a lot of stuff. I could run places. Couldn't really lift
Run
heavy
fast,
things, but I could definitely
sideways.
run.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and now I'm like 240, and so I'm 90 pounds heavier than I was in basic training. And then when we came back from Iraq, I didn't fit my Class A's anymore. And Nelson was getting out, and he's like, "Hey, just have mine." And his loosely fit.
Yeah.
I didn't have to wear them for the entire time before I got out, but they fit just good enough that I could get them tailored. My other ones, my shoulders got too big. I think I was like 200 pounds by the time we came back from Iraq. So in a year and a half period from joining to coming back from Iraq, so almost a 2-year period, I gained like 50 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not fitting in that polyester.
No, it don't stretch.
Pop it out.
You're busting seams before you stretch it out.
Yeah.
You have to have someone else tie your shoes.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, have you ever had to try and tie your shoes with the jacket on? It's not fun.
No.
It ain't fun to do anything with stand in them.
Yeah. Pay attention.
That's right. Like, don't have me move.
In the middle of a summer for change of command ceremony. That's always fun.
Don't lock your knees.
With your black beret. Ooh, that was lovely.
Yes.
Skin tight black beret.
Your wool black beret.
100% wool.
And they give it to you, and they're like, it doesn't shape right. It doesn't shape right. So you
look like you're fixing pizzas for a living.
Yeah, but no.
It's me.
I think it's more French. I think it's more French, but my baguette. Would you like my baguette?
Yeah.
Oui, oui.
Oh, oui, 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 oui. Buongiorno. Again, that's still Italian. I don't know why I keep doing that. Oh, oui, oui. Oh.
There's some overlap, I think.
Oh, my mustache. Must drink with pinky out.
Yeah.
But anyways. Oh, boy. Enough with the baguette people.
Yeah.
Those. I'm just so glad they got rid of the beret. Because the beret's cool, like if you're special forces or you're a ranger, or if you're like, I know the Air Force,
security
they're
forces.
special security forces, they're special police. They wore them, but that was on like the flight lines and stuff. That makes sense. But when you're like special operations to wear a beret, that seems cool. But just like a black beret, just, you gotta throw that thing out the window. Just let me wear my hat, my regular hat. Just let me wear my regular garrison hat.
I got it as soon as I got the Fort Polk. When you go through in processing and they're like, okay, you're going to need this. You didn't need this. And they're like, oh, here's 2 berets. And you're like, what? What is it?
This?
What's a beret?
Yeah. You got to shape and shave it.
Yeah, it's like soak it in hot water and shave it. I looked at the dude like, what? Shave it?
But do I shave it with my electric Norelco?
Yeah, take a razor and shave it. I was like, yeah, this is like supposed to be one of them jokes with blinker fluid type stuff. So I just stood there.
Yeah, right. Oh,
like,
no.
What are you talking about? You got to shave it. I'm like, I don't believe you.
I'm just going to beat this in like a baseball glove.
Because you're like with a razor, and they're like, yeah.
It's not working. It's like you're trying to fold it over. It's not working.
You had to cut them cardboard things out by the or the blue what the hell you call it, flash.
The insignia,
yeah.
The flash.
Gotta cut it.
You had to cut it. You had to cut it perfectly rectangle. I tell you what.
We're like,
I forgot about that. Yeah, and it's on your head wet while it's like shaking.
Yeah, we'll run around.
And you're just sitting there like a dumb playing Call of Duty with your beret on.
And then you pause every so often to go. Yeah, to keep checking it. Like you know exactly how it's supposed to be formed because it's the first time. You already had to ask how to do it, but you're sitting there like, this is perfect.
And you're like, all right, cool. It covers my right eye perfectly.
I gotta fix my beret.
Oh,
yeah, it comes all the way down like this.
The officer beret where it's like
you're going into formation looking like a pirate.
Yeah. It's like, why?
I have mine downstairs.
Floppy. I think I might have
my beret downstairs.
Yeah.
I
forgot how much work went into that, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, you'd be just at it for hours just shaving it. I'm like, it's still not shaved good enough.
That $15 thing.
Yeah.
Not gonna have any balls on this thing.
Yeah, and then
smooth.
And then screw around and cut it. Going too deep.
Thin.
You're like, oh, I can see my fucking hair through that. You're like, they ain't even gonna say nothing.
I think there's a hole.
And they spot it. What is that? You're like, how can he see that?
I gotta get another one. I gotta get my backup beret.
Yes, I gotta get the backup tonight.
Yeah. Back to square one.
Backup
beret. Yeah.
That one's not shaved.
So now you're up again.
Gotta put that in the microwave for 4 minutes.
Yeah. God. The stuff they just had you do.
Well, it's because they got rid of the boots, right? So they had to make you do it with the hat.
Well, I had to do both.
Yeah.
Oh, you had a period of both. Oh no.
Yeah, when I first got the Polk, I was still in BDUs. Had to be pressed.
Mm-hmm.
Boots had to be spit shined.
You got it from both
ends.
And
we had the beret.
Damn.
Yeah, I was thinking about how my ACU top had BDU pockets. Because all the inside was BDU and they were using up all the extra stuff.
Oh no.
Jeez, oh Pete.
Yeah.
So when I got to basic and they issued the ACUs to us,
right?
I looked at it and I went, what is this? This isn't BDUs because my stepdad was in the Army, right? And he wore BDUs. That's all I knew was BDUs or the chocolate chip, right? You know, Gulf War uniform. And so when I got this ACU stuff, I was like, what is this gray uniform? It's like, this looks awful. This isn't green or black or whatever. Like, green. What is this supposed to conceal?
Green, so I'm like, ain't nothing.
I'm like wearing it in basic training, and I thought I was going to get a different uniform when I got to Fort Polk, and that's not the case. That was not the case.
Yeah, I hated ACUs. I did not like that uniform concept at all.
It wasn't good.
Didn't like it.
No, the Velcro is trash.
It's hook and loop. So they didn't buy name brand Velcro. The MOS, the male and females that do seamstress like fixture tents and stuff. That's probably what they're doing in basic training to pass. They're just having them stitch it, which is probably not the case, but that stuff was just, how many times you got to open to close your pocket and down here and then why Velcro your pocket? And you're like, I can't.
Nope.
Velcro your cargo pocket.
It's like I can't.
Well, that's why I didn't like putting anything in my pockets because I like my pockets. I like them flat.
Yeah.
I like them as flat as possible. So when they're like, hey, put your raincoat in your pocket, I'm like, oh no. That was like my one thing that I hated was those baggy pockets. And after you put something really big in those pockets, they never went back to shape.
Oh yeah.
And so you just have sloppy pockets and you look sloppy. And you just like, I could fit so many things in these pockets, but I don't want to.
You're talking about in the ACUs, right?
Everything but your hands.
ACUs.
The
Yes.
BDUs, you never
You
put.
could just iron them back down.
But you never put anything in that cargo pocket. Never.
Well, but you had that button that was like you're trying to fight it.
You had 2 buttons, and the flap didn't flap up completely.
Mhm.
It was sewed on each side. So you only had a little bit. But no,
which is still funny.
It was made
because it's
to
a
look
non-functioning pocket.
You're right. It's like, what are you getting in there? I got to rip a small pad piece of paper in half, and I can fit it in. So
half a legal pad.
What do you stuff
half
in
a
there,
legal
huh?
pad.
Yeah, that.
My socks.
Yeah, but I never put
Fresh set of
anything in them
Hmm.
because I heavy starched them or took my uniforms to a dry cleaner place.
Mm-hmm.
And you couldn't peel that pocket off there. You couldn't even get to the buttons because I never messed with them. But yeah,
it's clear.
The buttons all had that white ring around the outside because they've been so pressed so many times.
yeah, about to bust through the outer layer of the pocket.
Yeah.
You had a sweet clear coat.
You could see the holes where the thread were going through.
Yeah,
I like it.
That's so
they
look at
them creases would cut you.
Oh,
the
man.
BDOs were great, but you had to spit shine your boots too.
I liked them. I mean, I
had
got
some
handy downs. I got to play.
Grade.
Yeah.
I had full BDU set in 2nd grade, and I showed up to school like that one time, and people thought I was crazy. I had the hat, the helmet, the top, the bottom, the black boots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And then I lost my wallet, right? My wallet was a BDU wallet, and this girl goes up to me, and she's like, "I think this is yours." And I'm like, "Oh, it's definitely mine." It's like...
That's not a stretch.
Funny. Yeah. I was like, "Oh, see, it all worked out."
Yep.
Came right back. Camouflage.
You remembered. You remember the old squeakykins.
Like Scott said, we get to the Army finally. I get some free BDUs, and they're all gone.
Yep. Yeah. We got to wear the ACU uniform, but then we had the BDU flak vest, and then the BDU helmet. It made no sense.
Yeah, we're all
BDU cover for a helmet.
It was just transition period.
It was just, it's all crazy, and
they were still making this.
Yeah, it was just.
My recruiter lied to me again. Dork.
Thought you were going to be Major Payne or something.
Yeah. Listen, kids.
Yep. Hated it.
Instead, you gave me Ernest.
That movie's funny.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's all the questions that's all the questions that I have. If you guys want to talk about anything different for, I don't know, another 10, 15, 20 minutes.
I do want to correct this last podcast. The 249 SAW, the SAW stands for Squad Automatic Weapon.
You're right.
And we said Squad Area. And I don't
swore
know why I got thinking about that.
Well, because a machine gun is an area weapon.
Yeah.
It's meant for area suppression. Yeah. So that's why it all makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Peace through fire superiority.
Superior firepower.
Yeah, that's it. Peace through superior
and
firepower.
Lots of bullets.
Yeah, lots. Oh, yeah. So I got more ammo today. I got more 9mm and 9mm.
Yeah.
Oh, 5.56. No, 2.23. I got 2.23 and 5.56. It was a heavy box.
Oh.
So I think I got like
heavy box is a good box.
750 rounds combined. I think I got 500 of one and 250 of another.
Nice.
So we gotta take the ARs out this week. or next week. And then father-in-law wants to sell me another 20 gauge shotgun, which is fine. I have one that I was going to give to my daughter. But if he wants to sell me that one and keep it in the family, that's fine too. So we can keep
It's
2
always
shotguns.
acceptable.
I'm fine with that. The more the merrier, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
No,
if she goes shooting with him, she can take the one. If she goes shooting with me and us and him, she can take both of them. It don't matter to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my great grandpa that I'm named after, Robert Farrell. He was in World War II. He gave me a Ducks Unlimited 20 gauge shotgun when I was 2 years old. Yeah. And it's never been shot.
Oh, nice.
Yep. As a kid, I never shot it. I cleaned it a couple times, but I never shot it. So Emma will be the first person. I might shoot one just to make sure it works.
There you go.
I'll shoot the first
Very
one to make sure it works.
Yeah.
Thinking ahead. I haven't seen it shoot, so
dust the cobwebs off.
I do want to see it. So
yeah,
make sure everything operates before I give it to my daughter. 5-year-old going pow. Yeah, don't need that. So yeah, probably buying another gun this week.
Always need more. That. Yeah.
Always
you said it's an event. Can never have too little. Too few.
The next gun I want to get is the lever action, though. I do want to get a 30-30. The 30-30 Marlins, the lever action.
I always wanted a real short one, like the ranch hand. Yeah.
Like John Wayne.
Yeah.
My dad's got one. I'm looking one up right now. I'll show you what I'm talking about.
You want the classic. The Old West classic.
Yeah, let's go back to here.
Over, under, or side by side? That is the question.
So that right there. Something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, nice lever action. That's the next gun I want to get. Something a cowboy would use.
Like a repeater.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like them repeaters too.
Mm-hmm. I think the next thing I'm going to get is a 22 revolver, just for fun. Something economical.
Yeah.
Well, I got a little 22 AR pistol, and that thing plinks.
Yeah.
Plink, plink, plink.
Plink, 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 plink. You don't even need well, I still put
That's
on
why I
earmuffs,
like it.
But you don't even
really
need
them.
earmuffs.
Yeah.
No.
Nope.
And you can just do it all day long.
All day long. And the rounds don't cost nothing.
No, not at all.
They're like 10 cents a round, if that. Maybe 8 cents a round. And right now, I think 9mm was. I don't feel like they were that expensive.
I haven't really bought ammo in a while.
223 was more expensive than I wanted it to be, but
it's been a minute.
Still gotta stay stocked.
Stay stocked.
Have to keep it up. All right. Well, I don't see anything else in here. Looking at your ERB. Was there anything that you wanted to go over with the second ACR? Because I have that. Have that up. March of 2003.
Oh, those 2 things I did send you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just sending that to you so you could see, for yourself from start to finish in a couple paragraphs.
Right on.
Just in case you wanted to read it, no big deal.
Yeah.
But
I'll have to. Yeah. I'll go through it.
I read it and I thought it was funny how we would just find ourselves there years later, same area almost.
Mm-hmm.
To the east side.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy times. It almost makes you want to talk to the guys that were there 2 to 3 years before, on loyalty, at Rustamaya.
And loyalty was Camp Cuervo, so it was a different name then. They
Oh,
changed
was
all the
it?
names like halfway through.
Yeah.
Oh,
So there's a lot.
Cuervo, as
There's
in,
like a lot of loss because
tequila?
there's people have
As in-
associated these bases with different names, and so there is a confusion, I think. Right?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That
yeah.
makes sense.
Mhm.
Because for 4 years, people had known it as Camp Cuervo, and then we get there, and it was like loyalty. They changed it, or hope, or I forgot which one it was, but I think Rustamaya changed. So yeah, there was a period where
Rustamaya
they
changed.
Mhm.
I forget what Rustamaya was before Rustamaya, but it was
I
a
don't know.
different name.
It's
But
staying.
yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, hearing the Gulf War vets talk about going to Iraq the first time.
Oh yeah.
It's interesting. Them going in and they were living in blown up buildings. Something that, the Air Force had blown up the day before. They were living in those buildings.
That's what I was staying in when I went.
No Wi-Fi. No Wi-Fi.
No.
Oh, no.
Well, I didn't know Wi-Fi back then anyway.
Yeah, I don't think Wi-Fi was
You're lucky
that
to
big
get a
then.
phone call.
No. Well, you're right. You're right. You were lucky
Mhm.
to get a phone call.
Right. Yeah,
That
that's
was-
different.
And that was on a sat phone.
Yeah, on
Mhm.
Nippernet or something, right?
As soon as it rang, like you better hope somebody picked up.
Yep.
It wasn't coming back around again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's how I felt like when we would go to the phone bank and call back in like
Right.
2008. Go to the phone bank and you're like, I know it's like 3 a.m, but please
But
pick up.
this is yes. You're like,
And it's
"Please,
some
somebody
long number
pick
that
up."
no one recognizes. So then,
Yeah.
Yeah. Where it's like, hey, can I make an if we got time? You're like, I bet we do got time.
And you wake them up and they're like, oh, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, I only have 3
Mhm.
minutes. Only got 3 minutes.
Yeah.
In the whole time.
Yeah, those cards were
What?
expensive too.
Oh yeah, they were.
I mean, it was
I'd
all
buy a-
relative because
Yeah. I buy
we
a
weren't
phone
paying
card.
taxes or spending money. So all the money that we were making over there was just accumulating, which was nice, which made it seem like you made a whole lot more than
Yeah.
you did, right? when you're seeing
you
your
have no
bank
bills?
account just double
Yeah.
the next month, you're like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then you get back home and you're like, I'm just gonna spend it, and you're seeing your bank account
Or you buy a new car.
fall twice as fast. Yeah, well, I did that. I was like, I need a 2000 and I think it was a 2002 Jeep Wrangler. I was like, here's $5K down. And like 6 months later, I was like, where'd my money go?
Yep.
I
least you had a
bought
Jeep.
snowboarding gear. I think I have worn this. I still have the jacket, so I have worn that snowboarding. But all the rest of the gear I didn't. I bought a bass guitar. Never learned how to play it. Ended up giving that to my stepsister. A whole bunch of movies that I no longer watch or have because I gave them away. I bought like 200 DVDs.
Oh my goodness.
Oh wow, really?
Yes. I had a locker full of DVDs. I thought DVD was going to be like the thing that just kept going, that like bridged generations.
They do around here. We like our DVDs.
Because people used to collect VHS tapes, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
My mom
you would
and
have
dad
them in
still-
your
My mom and dad still
you would have
got
them
a
in your
collection at their house.
entertainment center. You would have them in your entertainment center, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And you go, oh, I want to watch.
You can bring it back, Scott. It's okay.
Land Before Time. You're like pulling out Land Before Time.
Not unless it was copied.
Right.
And then you're just constantly putting them back and pulling them, hoping the sticker's still on it. It said what it was. Yeah.
Exactly.
But you gave all your DVDs away. And then
gave all my DVDs away.
Then it boils down to like, I have
now you gotta buy them all again
for that.
Yeah. I got the Army Star card right after that. I maxed that thing out.
Sentence right there.
Yeah, I got a new computer because the iMac that I have in the other room. I still have it though. It just doesn't operate right at all. It's terrible. It's so slow, and I want to punch it so bad.
It's like dial-up internet.
Because I was going to use that for the podcast. Use the webcam on that, but I couldn't get anything to operate. Like I couldn't send anything through email. It just nothing was working on it. So all the pictures from the deployment, I have a bunch of different pictures that I didn't upload to Facebook that I've been trying to pull off of that thing.
Yeah.
So I think I just got to turn it on and hook up a hard drive to it.
You just got to kind of deal with it being slow.
And hope. Yeah. Either that or take it to some tech wizard. Be like, hey, pull all the information off on this.
Exactly.
Do what you can. I don't care how embarrassing it is. I don't care if you see it. Right? Fill out this NDA form.
Yeah.
I'll give you $50.
Fix it.
I think the main thing is that it'll just take so long because it's so old.
Yeah. They're like, geez, this dinosaur.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, I ain't never seen this.
He's like, is this a 2000?
It's been a decade since someone brought this in.
Is this a 2009 model? Yes, it is. It's a 2009 model.
Yeah, right.
This is historic.
Get it to the museum.
Yeah, I got to call a museum on this one.
Oh. Yeah. National Geographic needs to come out here. We found one in the wild.
Guinness, we have one still alive.
Yes.
Guinness World Record. Oh my God. It still has the old software on it. They didn't even upgrade it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. By crikey, we got a wild one right here.
Yeah.
Watch out for it. It might explode.
Yeah. That's funny.
All right, gents.
But you at least have that, though.
We do. We always have that.
Someday it could be worth, who knows, 10 grand. 20
Probably
grand.
Not.
Somebody will want it.
Probably not. It's going to find a landfill.
Somebody will not want it.
It'll be dino fuel.
And on that note, this was a terrific show, guys.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome.
You're awesome.
I'm awesome.
You guys are awesome.
You're awesome. Hey, thanks for being so excited to come on the show.
Oh, absolutely.
We've loved having you. You're going to be back on again for sure.
I love it. You guys are great.
We'll talk about all sorts of different things. Whatever you want to talk about, just let us know.
Good.
Just let us know if there's a topic that you want to discuss. Be like, hey, I left this out. I think I can rant on about that. Boom. We can do it.
Sounds like a wiener.
All right. Well, this is
chicken dinner.
This is Tar and Feather Podcast. Go to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We're on Twitch. We're on all the cool things. We're not on TikTok. Don't go there. Don't even worry about all that nonsense. We're not doing it. We refuse. Yeah.
On the burner.
All right.
All right. Love you, gents.
We're going to burn this episode. Bye.